Hello, folks. Hey, Rob Mazak here. Some of you guys follow me, know what I do, who I am, but for those that don't, I am a psychic and medium and many other things. And I've been practicing professionally as an intuitive for about 7 years now. And, I'm definitely not any stranger to getting precognitive stuff or future events or things that might be coming up, however you want to put it. And this might sound kind of strange coming from somebody like me who does this for a living and does this because I was given the gift and quit ignoring it. But all this hype about today, the 23rd of September, is just off the rails. And everybody's chiming in, and it's just gone viral and crazy. And here I am. Here it is at about my time, almost 7 p.m. on the 23rd, and I'm very sensitive to changes, very sensitive to different energies, different things that are going on. I don't always get exact and precise information, but can certainly tell when something is amiss, something is different, something has changed. But the funny thing is, I got nothing today. Very little. I had some clients reach out to me wanting to know what I had gotten, because they were telling me all these crazy stories. I'm not saying they're crazy stories because who knows, they could have happened, but I mean, it's just went from one extreme to the other, and everybody was just kind of chiming in on the bandwagon there. And wow, I heard some stories as far as a comet hitting the sun and blasting a solar eclipse, and not a solar eclipse, a solar flare, and and shutting down all the power grids, and it's just, for me to say that something sounds crazy is kind of crazy in itself, isn't it? But I think what's going on, well, I'm pretty sure I know what's going on here, is that there's a lot of disinformation out there that is going on simply to confuse us, as a population across the planet, because I'm an admitted alternative news guy and have done some writings in that respect as well. But when I started looking at alternative news back in the early 2000s or 2000, basically after 9/11, alternative news was a little bit more reliable, if you will, and compared to the mainstream news, because if you do your research, mainstream news is not, I'm not saying it's all bad, I'm saying that it's designed for very specific purposes, and generally to program us, right? And that makes sense. If you're going to manage billions of people, you need to have a tighter control on what you want people to believe and how you want them to act. So guess what? You do need to do that kind of stuff. That's okay. Pardon the background noise. I'm on a deployment in a camp, so if you hear some interesting noises behind me like that, kind of normal with lots of neighbors. But anyway, the thing about alternative news now, what I've discovered is even that has become just absolutely nuts. What used to be a solid platform or platforms has now really gone to very high levels of disinformation, and it's almost like, well, no, it's not almost like, I've heard stories and videos and information from people who do that for a living. Their job is to put out disinformation, to confuse everybody, and somehow or another, somebody or some buddies, lots of people caught onto this 23rd of September rabbit hole, and it really has become a rabbit hole. I don't think that us common men are really going to know the true secrets that are going on in this world. But and I don't claim to know everything just because of what I do. But we do have to be careful with what we latch onto and believe in, and just because the mass of the population, or the largest part of the population, is buying into this, doesn't mean that it's true. Just because everybody believes it doesn't mean it's true, right? There's probably some truth in there somewhere, I'm sure, and maybe some things have happened that I don't know about. But I'm out in a little town in southern Texas, not much here, but energetically doesn't feel like much has changed outside of the border problems, of course, right? But we really do have to be careful, because even when I get information for a client that might be something that could come up in the future, or a date, or some action, or some event that I see coming up, I have learned to become very mindful of how I say that, and if I say that. Maybe there's another way to put it. I try to get them to possibly think in a different way, or act in a different way, or consider doing something different, so that hopefully this future event that I'm seeing doesn't play out, especially if it's not good, right? And if it's good, then I would encourage them to maybe keep doing what they're doing, or accentuate. But the point is actually, I learned this from a client. If I sit in front of a client, or sit down with a client, and I tell them, hey, by the way, on the 23rd of September, this particular event is going to happen in your life. Maybe I see a divorce, maybe I see, a car accident, whatever. Whether that comes true or not, because even though some of us see future events, there's time to change those things. Nothing's really written in stone, in my opinion, right? What that tells me is that whatever actions or lifestyle or things that the client is doing will lead them in that direction if things don't change. And so in my opinion, that's why I see future events, not because they're coming and they're hard written and etched into their history. It's because, hey, dude, you or not so well, not everybody's a dude, but hey, if you continue what you're doing, you may find yourself in this particular place. And so, also, if I tell somebody that something's coming, especially when it comes to somebody like myself that's been doing this for a while, I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just saying, when somebody's been, long tenure doing something, people tend to believe them a lot easier, a lot quicker. And so if I tell them something's coming, right, they will likely develop a belief in that, and then formulate their perception, and then their world will develop that particular event, whether it was supposed to happen or not, right? And so that, once again, I learned from a client, I learned from everybody, but I think that, anytime somebody gives you a date, every time somebody gives you an event in the future, I think we should all look at that very carefully with great scrutiny, and realize that if we're here as human beings with free will, why would we come and live a life that's completely orchestrated down to every detail already? Once again, can't prove that we're not. All I'm saying is that if free will is part of our existence, then how could something be written in stone as a future event? So I would encourage everybody out there to not just fall into the trap of believing something because you're hearing it all the time, or you're hearing from somebody that sounds credible, or somebody that claims they're somebody, right? Or even from a friend, or whatever. I along with that encouragement, I challenge you to do your own research, and into an event like that. Because when somebody asked me about that, I was like, this is the first time I'm hearing it, and I'm no stranger to social media or videos and things that are going around out there, but you know nothing about the 23rd of September struck me as a some type of major event coming. And once again, I'm not God. I'm not special. I'm not any different than anybody else. I've just learned to connect and listen and trust, which we all can do. But anyway, so when a client did ask me last night what I'd heard and what I thought or what I was getting, I actually I sat down and meditated for a bit, and I'm like, I really wasn't getting much. The only thing I got, which was, nothing new to me, was that what I saw in when I see things, I don't see things like I'm an object in my room. I see it in my mind, right? It happens in my consciousness, and so what I was seeing was a flat disc, almost like a gel-like thing, like a on the side facing downward, if you will, like what the surface of the sun might look like. On the backside, it was made out of gel, and it was kind of vibrating, and I looked at it for a while, and like, what is this? What is it they're trying to tell me or show me? And finally, the message came through as like, it really doesn't matter, or something to that effect. It doesn't matter because everything is projected in, and none of it's real anyway. And I'm like, okay, that makes more sense, but still doesn't make sense. So I think what I was getting out of that was that our reality can be changed and projected and manipulated simply by our own consciousness. And it's like we're creating it as we go along, and with our free will and our choices and our beliefs and all that, and so I that's all I could really get out of it. And like I said, I'm not God, so I'm not 100% what's going on, but there is quite a bit of information out there that would suggest that we are in some type of projection or simulation. Also, there's a lot of information for every other type of theory or reality or idea of what this existence is. But I think the biggest point I'm trying to make here is be mindful, be careful what you get yourself sucked into. There is a purpose behind all of this social media and all of this technology and all these ideas and all these articles and all these videos and all these people talking is to confuse us, is to program us, is to get us distracted from our real purpose and our mission here and what we've chosen to come here to experience. It's simply not to believe what everybody else thinks, because we need everyone to be an individual, not everybody the same, because otherwise there's a lot of unnecessary people here, right? And so anyway, that's just my thoughts on the 23rd of September. And of course the day's not over, I suppose, but from my viewpoint, as an intuitive psychic and medium, I did not really pick up on any shift or energy change or consciousness upgrades, whatever you want to call it. Now, don't get me wrong, we are on a trajectory northward, if you will, in consciousness. We are accelerating in our connection to the universe, the source, to God, to whatever you want to call that. We are on a very, very quick and upward movement towards awakening and learning and learning who we really are. You know, not just some human here to eat, work, consume, and die, right? So, yes, I do believe that. I have plenty of evidence for myself, through clients, through those you do hypnosis on and on and on. It's a common theme. You know, once again, can't prove it. However, when many people are saying the same thing from many cultures, you know, religions, races, you name it, genders, everybody is saying the same thing and getting the same thing. So I do believe that we are ascending very quickly. And so, yes, we are changing. Yes, people are feeling things that they've never felt before and they don't understand it, right? That's the majority of my clients recently. It's like, well, I don't understand what the hell this is. Excuse my language, but, you know, so I get it. But that's the kind of themes I was seeing when I started looking at what everybody was talking about for today. And that's the theme they're talking about. People are going to switch timelines, increase consciousness, on and on. You know, yes, but why would it be a specific day? You know, I think it's just it's not an event. It's a timeline. It's a progression. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. So, just be mindful, folks. Please, please, please don't buy into the first things that you see without doing your own research, doing your own meditation, doing your own praying, doing your own whatever ritual you have, right? Look into it yourself before you just jump on the bandwagon and and ride along, because many people have been fooled over the years. I mean, this particular rabbit hole of 23rd of September 2023 is akin to the way I saw it as a kid. Very similar, where before we had all this technology per se, they would be on the corner with a sign saying, "Repent, the end is near." No different, really, to me, other than the fact now that we can, when we say repent, the end is near, so to speak, we can do it across the globe in an instant. That's the difference, really. So, technology's good, but it's also bad, folks. Be careful, right? Anyway, Rob Mazak here again. I'm going to sign off and leave you with those thoughts. So stay strong and live your life.